Oh my gosh. Y'all, it should not take me 7 minutes to sign in to my own YouTube. That was insane. I've literally been sitting here for 7 minutes fighting. I'm going to open up this curtain. Ooh, it's going to be a little bit bright. Fighting with my computer to sign me in. Yes, it's me. It's really me. Yes, I want to sign in. My password doesn't work. Why doesn't my password work? Okay, I need to pick a new password. Fantastic. Let's pick a new password. Pick one that you weren't just using. I did pick one that I wasn't. So, yeah, that's why I'm 7 minutes late, because it took me 7 minutes to sign in. I have gotten five. I'm sorry, five. 5 emails from Google to let me know that I'm trying to sign in. Oh my gosh. I was like, and I just got back. Oh, nice. Thank you for questions. I just got back from Walgreens picking up medicine for Bella because she's still flipping sick. Oh my gosh. It's Easter. This is not supposed to be my Easter here, people. Happy Easter to everybody. This is so crazy. It does not feel like Easter at all. I have gotten maybe 3 hours consecutive sleep for the past like 5 or 6 days without being woken up to a coughing child who nothing seems to be working on. So that's fun. Richard has a job now with benefits, so we may be going to the doctor very soon because nothing else is working for her. It's so hard to see my poor baby sick. We're trying so many things. So I went to go get liquid Sudafed. And then they said, "Oh, well, how old is she?" And I said, 6. And they said, "Oh, well, she can take a pill." And I went, "Oh, praise the Lord." Because I'm so tired of the liquid stuff. So that's why I'm back. I'm back now. Oh my gosh. My favorite must-read book, I'm going to be honest, I do not read a lot of books. I listen to books on Audible. And the books that I listen to, let me see. What are some of my favorite ones? You know what? Let me go look at my Audible. I've listened to all of the Artemis Fowl books several times. It's like a kid series, but I don't know why I just really like it. I'm going to my library. Hang on. Of course, the Iodine Crisis. I'm probably going to listen to it again. There's a not new. It's like so old. There's a series that is definitely not for children. It's kind of hardcore. It's called the Sword of Truth series. Listen to that. The Left Behind series. We've listened to all of those ones. Aragon, all the Twilight series. Yeah. Hunger Games I have in here as well. Another one, Clan of the Cave Bear. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie with, what's her name? She played in Splash. I can't remember her name. If anyone can remember her name. Hi, everybody. I debated not going live today because it was Easter, but then I was like, you know what? There's a lot of people who might not be doing anything and who might want to hang out for a little while. So I'm live today. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. That was incredible. That goes with the Hunger Games. It's like a prequel to the Hunger Games. I heard Nisha talking about it. She talked about the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And so I listened to it and it was like, whoa, now I know why I hate snow so much. Oh my gosh. Ender's Game. I've never read Ender's Game. What was the other one? There was another one. Ready Player One was actually a really good one too. Ready Player One, the book and the movie are very different. Like very, very different. And yet they are both so good. Red Rising, that's a series that's also really good. I like a lot of the kind of the sci-fi. I've got enough drama and like reality in my life. I like to get that escape. And I do not have time in my life to sit down and watch movies or to just kind of, hang out. So an audiobook, whether I'm driving or whatever else, I can pop it in my ear and I can listen to it. Richard's listening to one of the one of the Left Behind books. I think he's on the very last one, Kingdom Come, maybe. It might be the one he's on. So he's on that one. And I am on, and I'm doing one of the Left Behind books. Not Left Behind. Sword of Truth series books. I think I'm on book like 7, something like that. I'm also a nerd. So the iodine crisis, I could probably pull up. Let me see if I can pull up the cover. I'll pull up the cover. I'll pull up a picture of the cover. I need to get it, like a physical form of the iodine crisis. The iodine crisis is a book. There we go. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it. So that's what it looks like, the iodine crisis, and it has a shattered salt shaker on the front of it. And it's by Lynn Farrow, and Dr. Brownstein did the foreword talking. I was trying to find a book on iodine. I'd heard about Dr. Brownstein's book, which I have over on my bedside table. I can go grab it if you guys want to see that. But Dr. Brownstein's book wasn't in Audible. And again, I don't really have a lot of time to read a lot of books. So I was going to listen to it, couldn't find it, Googled his name and found his name on the foreword of that one. So I was like, okay, so that tells me that he approves of this message. So I listened to it, and that's what got me hooked on iodine. And my brain is completely blown by all of the things that I learned about iodine. Because I used to believe that we only needed a tiny bit. There's a lot of people who say that you just need a tiny bit. You don't need much. But I think for some people that really can be enough. Just like with our diet, for some people, carnivore is fantastic. You don't need anything else. And for some people, it doesn't work. So you have to kind of expound a little bit on that. So in my Mighty Network, one of the people asked, what's iodine and do I really need it? So I thought, okay, well, I'll just regurgitate what I've heard before. Daryl Hannah, thank you. I was like, I'll just regurgitate again that no, I really don't want to just regurgitate what I've been told 18 times over. I want to know what Dr. Brownstein has to say about iodine. Yes, my darling love. My sicky baby. Come here. What? What is it, my needle? What can I have? What can you have? Maybe some berries? I got some strawberries. Since you just had your turkey, you can have some strawberries if you want some strawberries. Or chips. Oh, okay. You can have some. I love you. I love you, sweetheart. Josie's downstairs. If you need anything, you can ask her for help, okay? So I listened to the book, Lynn Farrow's book. It took 4.5 hours on 1.4 speed because the person who reads it reads pretty slowly. So I sped it up. And although it didn't take me 4.5 hours, it took me like 2 days because I kept listening to a part and then my mind would be totally blown and I would pause it and I would yell at Richard, be like, guess what else happened? So it was really funny. I have to say, of the two books, Dr. Brownstein's book and Lynn Farrow's book, Lynn's book, The Iodine Crisis, in my opinion, is the one to start with. And the reason is it breaks it down on a more attainable level. Dr. Brownstein's gets a little bit more scientific, a little bit more medical. So it's a little bit harder to chew for some people. I understand a lot of medical lingo, and it's almost a bit much for me at times, understanding what he's saying on the scientific level. So I'll get to that point eventually. But Lynn's book actually breaks down what happened to iodine, just like Ansel Keys vilified fat because of his theory that fat caused heart disease. And then he got it removed, from our diet. It was labeled as the bad guy. The same thing that Ansel Keys did to fat is what these two doctors, Wolf and Chaikoff, did to iodine. And then the medical industry kind of compounded what these two doctors had done. And they said, we think that you guys need to have even less iodine in your diet than you have right now, because then it will let our medical scans work better. And that's actually in the Iodine Crisis book. If you haven't seen, I did a video with Lindsay Murphy and we talk about iodine. Now, I sent a copy of that video to one of the administrators in the iodine workshop group on Facebook. And I also sent a copy of that video to Lynn Farrow. And I was like, if I did anything wrong, let me know. I want to make sure that I'm only giving people correct information. And both of them came back and said, that was fantastic. You did an amazing job. So everything in that video stands as of right now. And that was really cool. So Lynn said she's going to look at her schedule. She's very busy and has a lot of things going on. So we'll see if I can get her on my channel. I did also reach out to Dr. Brownstein and I'm waiting to hear back from him. So that is the iodine crisis. I think it's 100% worth listening to or reading, because you may be one of those people who would benefit greatly from having extra iodine. I do a higher dose and I feel fantastic. So I really like that. And wondered if it had to do with the iodine 1 to 3 drops a day. It very well could. So the salt loading protocol, the best thing for anybody who's thinking about upping their iodine or currently doing it, would be to just do the salt loading protocol every single day until, honestly, you could probably do it for like 6 months and be fine. I really, truly believed at the beginning of my iodine experiment that because I eat enough salt, that I didn't have to do the salt loading. I started gaining weight and I didn't understand why I was gaining weight while taking iodine. Iodine is supposed to help you get healthier. How is gaining weight healthier? So I looked some more, and then one of the administrators on the iodine workshop on Facebook posted something, and she said a lot of people are confused about iodine and weight gain. What's happening is that the bromide is being detoxed from your cells. And if you aren't doing the salt loading and it's not detoxing properly, then your body is putting the bromide into the fat cells. That's why you're gaining weight, because you're not detoxing the bromide, you're storing it because you've knocked too much off at once. Your body was not able to detox it properly because you're not peeing enough. So it stored it away in your fat cells, and that's why you're gaining weight. I was like, oh, darn. So the protocol for salt loading is 1/4 teaspoon of salt in, I do a little tiny mason jar, one of the little tiny 4 ounces. So, and 1/2 cup of warm water. The warmer it is, the saltier it is, the saltier it tastes. So if it's just like lukewarm, it probably is fine. And so you dissolve that. So I stand there at the sink because I use well water. So we drink it right out of the tap. I'll put it back to warm. I'll put my little 1/4 teaspoon in there, stick it in there, and I'll stir it with my little tiny coffee metal spoon. Stir that. I'll down that. I'll pull the water forward to cool. And then I'll do 3 more of those little 4 ounces in a row. So that is the salt water, followed by 12 ounces of fresh water. I cannot just down a whole bunch of water. If I had a 12-ounce cup of water, I'd never be able to handle it. I would never be able to drink it enough. But when it's broken up in the little 4 ounces, I'm able to chug 4 ounces, take a breather for a few seconds, get another cup, chug another 4 ounces, and I can do 12 ounces that way. No problems. I haven't had any issues. The first couple of times it was a little hard and I was like, "Oh, okay, a few more drinks." But now it's just like, "Loop, okay, it's done." So the only thing is that the weight is not coming off. So the salt water does not guarantee weight loss because once you've put the bromide into those cells, you're gonna have to lose that weight, empty those fat cells the same way you have to empty out all the rest of the fat cells. So, unfortunately, I learned a little late, so I'm up like 4 pounds, and it's just gonna stay there for until I lose the weight. Hmm, nice, huh? So, morning and night. That is recommended for the salt loading protocol. When Dr. Brownstein works with patients, sorry if y'all can hear the roosters. When Dr. Brownstein works with patients, he has them start the salt loading and companion nutrients 2 weeks before he even gives them any iodine at all. When he does it that way, he has seen that most people don't have any side effects, they don't have any detox problems, and they can go to a pretty high dose right away as long as they've done that first. I remember hearing him say that in one of his interviews. So that might be something that you wanna consider doing. I know that so for my selenium, so some of the companion nutrients like zinc can be very helpful, selenium, vitamin C, vitamin B2 and B3, niacin and riboflavin, maybe vice versa. But those 2, those are the companion nutrients. I eat Brazil nuts for the selenium. If you are allergic to nuts, then obviously just get a selenium supplement. It just was cheaper for me to get Brazil nuts, and I just eat 4 of them a day, and that's anywhere from like 350 to 400 micrograms of selenium for 4 Brazil nuts. Vitamin C, you can do, I think the recommendation was like 3 to 6,000 milligrams a day, I wanna say. I can't remember, I don't have the book in front of me so I can, like, flip to it, I really wish I did. I will get it, I promise. So that I recommend, if possible, using either Camu or Acerola cherry supplements because those are whole foods. And ascorbic acid is not a fantastic form of vitamin C. It's not even the whole form of vitamin C. The vitamin C molecule, little package itself, ascorbic acid is actually the shell around the outside of it. And inside of vitamin C, there's 4 other elements, including, I love this one, vitamin J. I didn't even know that there was a vitamin J, but it lives inside of vitamin C. So when you take a vitamin C supplement that is just ascorbic acid, then that is going to just be the outside shell and not the whole form of vitamin C. And most ascorbic acid is made from wheat. So, if possible, get the whole foods form of vitamin C, eat bell peppers if you're keto, something like that. So, you can do food sources of vitamin C as well. Zinc, if you like a lot of oysters and can get a lot of oysters, you could do that. Otherwise, you would want to do a supplement. The B vitamins, I'm not sure. Because we eat so much meat, we are pretty darn meat heavy. I don't know if you would need to supplement with B vitamins unless you are, like, super high fat and not a lot of protein, then I would recommend supplementing the B vitamins as well. Those are kind of some cofactors that help you feel better when you're doing the iodine. So hopefully that helps. Ancestral living and nutrition. I'm also a nerd. Hello, friend. Okay, so next question. Do you think that the perfect diet should require no supplements, or have we been passing down bad genetics, or is our food completely trash? I think that that's a really loaded question, and I think honestly, it's gonna depend on the person, unfortunately. I would love to give a blanket statement for this. So the first question is, do you think the perfect diet should require no supplements? I yes, I do think that the perfect diet should require no supplements. However, the perfect diet for one person is not the same as it is for another person. One person, their perfect diet would have to include grass-fed, grass-finished meat with organs. They could only eat ruminants, and they had to have, other foods, it could be from the plant kingdom, to be able to complete their nutritional profile. Whereas this other person who could be allergic to beef, obviously that's not going to be their perfect profile of food. So they're going to have to find other ways to eat their food. Another thing to consider is, how was your birth? Like, go way back to the beginning. If you were born vaginally, then you're going to have a lot of your mother's microbiome. How healthy was she? She will have passed that on to you. If you were taken by cesarean, then you didn't get a lot of that good microbiome that now should reside in your gut. Were you a soy baby? Did you have a really bad infection and you ended up going on many, many rounds of antibiotics? All of those things are going to mess with your body's ability to absorb and use nutrients. So I know that there's stuff going on inside of me that I don't understand, because I literally can eat the perfect diet, nutritionally balanced, and it's not working. So what's not working? There's a lot of people who end up working with a functional medicine practitioner or a naturopath, figuring out and doing testing that there's a lot of things missing in your profile inside of your body. Do you have the MTHFR gene mutation? So many different things can affect how much you're getting from your food and how much you actually need. I think genetics play a huge role in it, because if they didn't, and all people's genetics didn't really affect it, then everybody that's been eating the SAD diet for the past 50 years should have all had diabetes. We should have all had cancer. We should have all had depression and mental health problems, but we didn't. We ended up with different things everywhere. And I truly believe that that goes back to your genetics. And that is what dictates what of these horrible side effects you're going to end up with: heart disease or so many other things to choose from. So I think that genetics do play a really big part in that. And then I think a lot of our food is trash, and not necessarily completely useless, but it's not what it used to be. When the buffalo were roaming the plains and it was untouched by agriculture, there was no sprays or pesticides or anything else out there. The buffalo were eating the grass. The nutrient dense soil was providing nutrients to the grass, which then went into the buffalo. So when we killed the buffalo and we ate the buffalo, we got those nutrients too. Now, with monocropping and pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, so many other things, our soils are completely depleted. And we have this idea, at least the industry's had this idea, that plants are the way to go. So they've removed a lot of the animals out of the picture. So regenerative agriculture is not happening. The ground eventually becomes unusable even for crops because it's so nutrient depleted. So they'll tell you, "Oh, these plants have so many nutrients in them." One, they're in a form that you can't even access. You have to be a good converter to be able to use those things. And two, what are they sprayed with? Number three, was there actually any nutrients in the soil? Did they use fertilizers the way that they should from animals, or did they use synthetic fertilizers? So there's a lot that goes into it. And the same thing with the animals are eating the plants. So even if you're not eating the plants, the animals that you are eating those plants. And if those plants are devoid of nutrients, then they also are not as healthy as they could be. Now, for some people, like Kelly Hogan, that's going to be good enough. She doesn't do supplements, she doesn't do organs, she doesn't do anything else, and hasn't for a long time. She may eventually. I mean, she tried the organ thing and she said it made her stink really bad, so she didn't stick with it. But she doesn't seem to need it. But there are a lot of people who try her method of carnivore, just eat meat and be happy, and it's not enough. So they have to end up supplementing. Um, just like some people who have thyroid diseases, Hashimoto's, there's a point in time where enough of your thyroid has died that it's just not ever going to get better, and you're never going to make enough. So you're going to have a thyroid hormone replacement. So I wish that I would be able to say, yes, that, we could eat a fantastic diet and never have to supplement, but I just don't think in this world that it's possible. And for some people, they can't afford even ground beef right now, and the best that they can do is cheap hot dogs and Spam, cans of Spam and Vienna sausages, and I still think that that is far superior to almost anything else that they could eat. As long as it is mostly meat, whatever it is, then you are absolutely on the right path. Um, Briar Rose says, love, love, love books, physical books, especially nice hardcover, but still the actual being able to focus is another story, right? We have I have a garage. Bologna. Yes, bologna. Eat the bologna. A bologna probably has a lot of organ meats in it too. They don't want to tell you that until organ meats become popular, and then they'll probably start putting it on the package. Um, we have a garage it's a two-car garage and it's got lots of shelves up on the walls, like it's like a huge vaulted ceiling garage. There's probably 35, 40 boxes out there. The other day I was like, babe, why did we bring all those things with us? What's even in there? I'm like, do we even know what's in there? And he goes, yeah, they're almost all books. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Never mind. Okay, that's why we brought them. We have so many books. We have homeschool books. We have big people school books. We have so many books. And they're safe in the garage for right now, I guess, because I don't have a big giant bookshelf. I need a wall of bookshelf in my house. I think we're going to end up probably building one downstairs in the living room. There's a couch that really nobody uses, so I think we're going to get rid of that and put in a giant wall for books down there, because I think we're going to do a lot of the homeschooling in the living room downstairs. So we will see. I have a hard time remembering to do the salt loading. I forgot yesterday, but I'm trying to remember when I first get up. But since you reminded me doing the second time now, there you go. See, I'm helping. I'm helpful. Yeah, I forgot yesterday. I need to do it today. And you're welcome, Anita, for the salt recipe. I usually drink ACV first thing in the morning and before bed. Would it be okay to combine the salt loading with the ACV? I would think so, as long as you follow it with the fresh water. The whole purpose of the salt is that it draws the bromide to your kidneys, and then the fresh water flushes everything out. So as long as you do the salt with the fresh water, so the ACV with the fresh water, go ahead and give it a try and see. Oh, look, I hate these little things. They're so, it's so embarrassing. Oh my gosh. I would say go ahead and try it. I don't think that using just electrolytes is enough, because I don't think you're getting the salt all at once and then flushing with clean water. I used to think electrolytes were good enough, but I don't think they are. I think the actual salt loading protocol really needs to be followed that way. I love the book No Grain, No Pain by Peter Osborne, prior MD, chose to become a molecular biologist. Love his information. No Grain, No Pain. I don't think I've heard of that one. Let me see if Audible has it. Hello. Oh, thank you for shopping at Walgreens. You're very welcome for shopping at Walgreens. Thank you for having what I needed, because my poor baby girl is sick and I am tired of it. I really do not like to give her medicine if I don't have to, but sometimes I have to. No grain, no pain. Oh, cool. There it is. Okay. And I have 3 credits, so I'm just going to buy it right now. Buy it. Yes, confirm. Okay. That's next on my list. Thank you. All the faux foods are infuriating, including the faux keto foods. Every time they slap a label on there. Keto. No, it's not. It's a lie. People, it's a lie. Oh my gosh. Made it. Happy Easter. Yes. Happy Easter, everyone who is in here right now. I thought about not going live because it is Easter. And if you didn't make it today because it is Easter, that's totally fine. I just figured I would get on here for people who maybe weren't doing anything, because I know that there are some people who were actually alone this year for Easter. And I wanted to be here just in case anyone else wanted to hang out. Richard's still at work. They made him work today, so he's not even here. I've been with Bella all morning long. We've been snuggled up on the couch playing with little Lego dolls and watching TV. So I figured I could get away for a little bit to talk to you guys on this very happy Easter. Yeah, baloney. Excellent. You have the beginnings of a library like Belle had, right? Oh my gosh. They keep your clothes off the floor in the closet. I'm confused. Oh, what books? Books keep your clothes off the floor in the closet. Do we salt load every day or just on the weekends? Every day. So you're going to want to salt load every single day, including the weekends, if you are taking a break from your iodine. The salt will continue to let you detox while you're not knocking off any new bromide. So the salt loading should continue all the time. Probably like 6 months, I would say, before you would look at backing off. So here's the thing. The best way for you to know when you could stop with the salt loading would be to get the iodine loading test, because that would tell you when your cells are fully saturated with the iodine. So until you know that, just to be on the safe side, you could do it 6 months, you could stick with it for a year. Just to be safe. And there's all kinds of books. Salt Your Way to Health by Dr. Brownstein, The Salt Fix by Dr. James DiNicola Antonio. You can listen to these books and understand the benefits of salt. So will kind of help alleviate any worries about, oh, I'm going to have too much salt for too long. So that would be my recommendation. If you can find an iodine literate doctor, get tested, because that would be amazing to do the iodine loading test to see how it would work and see where you are. Ooh, oh, this just shook. I got it at the thrift store as an actual candle inside of it. And it was sitting over here on my fireplace, and I actually had to turn on my fireplace because it was 22 degrees outside. It was sitting there going, rattle. The little glass panes were rattling. And now every time I bump my table, it's rattling over here. Oh, well. Spring cleaning today. Ooh, that sounds like fun, actually. I've kind of had the itch to do it, but then with Bella coughing so much, I don't want to stir up a bunch of dust. I don't want to do that. You are very welcome for going live today. You know what's funny? Wow, Briar Rose, I work full time. I can't go pee that much. I am amazed that I'm not peeing more with doing the salt loading. I genuinely thought, one, it was going to make me too full and I wasn't going to want to eat, which I already have a problem with. I've been doing so good lately, though. I've been very, very good with my food. I honestly thought that I was not going to be able to eat, and I thought I was going to be peeing all day. But the 12 ounces in the morning and the 12 ounces at dinner time with my salt has not made me have to pee copious amounts. The one time I did do the salt loading every 30 minutes until I started urinating copious amounts per the instructions, that's the only time I did it. So yeah, but then again, I've always been told that I have the bladder of like a camel, because even on car trips when I was young, I could hold it forever without a problem. So it could just be me. I could just be that lucky. Copious peeing is a problem at work. Agreed. Yes. When I do it in the morning and at night, it does not affect me, though. So that could just be me. Tanya and I are doing 75 hard starting on April 22nd. Unsure about the 1 gallon of H2O. Speaking of 75 hard, glad you brought that up. Starting May 1st, I should be able to launch my Mighty Network and be able to launch the free platform, the free part of it. So anybody who wants to come over to the Mighty Network, there will be a free area that's kind of like Facebook, where there's a feed. You can post pictures and updates and things like that. And then once a month, everyone in the free group will be able to come and join us for one of our Zoom meetings, because we have 4 Zoom meetings a week in the paid group. But whoever's in the free group would be able to come and sit in on one a month of those meetings in the Zooms. And I usually do education, kind of like this. Usually there's a topic and we will talk about it. Whatever the topic is, I'll talk about it for 20 minutes or so, and then we will take questions. We will take updates from everybody, find out where everyone is, things like that. So that is super close to being able to be launched. With that being said, we are also going to start 75 Hard on May 1st as well. So you'll be able to join the Mighty Network. And if you want, then you will be able to join the 75 Hard group. That's going to be, I think it's like $15 for that one, for the entire program for the full 75 days. And then unless you're one of the VIPs, then the 75 Hard is included in that. So about the 1 gallon of H2O, I listened to the guy who wrote 75 Hard, the guy who came up with the program, and he explained it. He actually has a brand new group on Facebook too, in case you're not aware of that. It's, let me look it up real quick. I have to look at the thing to get it to unlock. Sometimes I just hold it here and I don't look at it and it doesn't recognize that I'm looking at it. And yes, I want you to open. Let me see. I just joined his group. Let me see what it is. It is not in the first few in there. Fight or Flight Family. So that is the group in Facebook for 75 Hard. Fight or Flight Family. So that is something that you could join if you wanted to do that. So 75 Hard, the point of 75 Hard is that it's supposed to be hard, like uncomfortably hard. The point of this program is to learn self-discipline. And when I first heard about it, I thought, oh, well, I'll just modify this. I'll just, do it this way. I'll just change it a little bit for me. The problem is when you listen to the podcast talking about this program by the creator, he goes, that's the whole point. You can't modify it. You can't change it to suit your needs. The point of it is hard things are going to happen in your life and it's never going to be at your convenience. There's a lot of things in your life that you can't control and you have to learn to adapt. You have to learn to be able to work through tough situations. And there's points in time where if you don't do that, there can be some really negative consequences. So this is a fully voluntary program for you to be able to do. And you are your own best advocate. You are your judge. You are the jury and you are the executioner. So the premise is if you mess up once, so there's these like 5 things that you have to do every single day that are really hard. And if you mess up once, even a tiny little bit, and let's say you get 2 ounces less than your full gallon, you have to start over at day 1 again. Completely start over. So what you have to do, you have to pick a diet and stick to it. So if you're keto, then you could pick carnivore and stick to it for 75 days. Or if you are, standard American diet, you could pick keto. You get to pick whatever diet you want. And you have to stick with it for 75 days. If you have 1 chocolate chip and that's not part of your plan, start back over. You're done. You have to start completely at the beginning. The second one is that you have to have 2 workouts a day, 2 45-minute workouts a day. One of them has to be outside in the rain, in the snow, not in the lightning storm, preferably not in the lightning storm. And he actually makes that like distinction. He's like, please use common sense in this. But yeah, it's going to be horrible. It's not going to be any fun. So the 2 workouts, the 2 workouts, you need to read 10 pages of a self-improvement book, not a fiction book. It has to be nonfiction. It has to be self-improvement, something like that. So a lot of people end up reading for one of their books. What's it called? Atomic Habits. That's one that's very popular that goes along with this program. So those, and then you have to drink a gallon of water every single day. It's not supposed to be comfortable. It's not supposed to be nice. And then the very last one is take a selfie, picture every single day. You have to take a progress picture every single day. So those are the steps that you have to do every single day. So if it's, lightning outside, you could go out in your garage and open up your garage door and do some push-ups and sit-ups and whatever. And I would consider that an outside workout if it's lightning and thundering outside. Now, one of the things that he talks about when he is in this podcast, which I could probably get a copy of the podcast and then put it up somewhere for you guys to be able to find. He says he's got people that literally have like no arms and legs that do this. He's had women who were pregnant. He does not recommend that, but he has had women that were pregnant and did this. He has had people who are extremely disabled because everything can be suited to fit your needs in those circumstances. So for example, me, when I do this, I have to get my doctor to sign off on the gallon of water, which I don't think is actually going to happen. My problem is that I have an electrolyte imbalance. I don't hold on to them well. And I can't drink more than one packet of actual electrolytes every day because I have too much potassium. So when I drink more than one packet of electrolytes a day, the potassium builds up. I get heart palpitations, my ankles swell, I get severe headaches. I can't do that. That is not medically safe. So when I do it, I'm not actually going to do 75 hard. I'm going to do 75 Amy's hard because I'm going to only drink as much water as my doctor allows me to do. For the general population, a gallon a day would be perfectly acceptable. It's hard and it stinks. And yeah, you're going to be peeing a lot, but that's the point of this program, is to prove to you that you can do really, really hard things. And it's definitely not for everybody. You really want to be sure about doing this. I'm going to be real. I don't want to do it, but I want to do it because sometimes I need to prove to myself that I can do hard things. Because a lot of times something will go wrong and it frustrates me to no end, and I know I could handle it better. And so I think that's one of the reasons that I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it medically safe. And that's exactly what he says. You have to talk to your doctor and make sure that you are able to do that, to do the program. So in that aspect, I will be able to modify it to whatever my healthcare person says is acceptable for me. If they say, yeah, try the gallon of water and see what happens, and then give me a call and we'll adjust from there if we have to, I'm going to take that as that is my gallon of water. I'm going to do what my doctor says that I should be doing. And then the workouts, we're going to do 2 workouts a day, and we have to get our books ready so that we can read 10 pages of them. Because if you get through one book and then the next day, you only have like 3 pages left and you have no other books to read, you got to start over. So planning ahead is part of this program. Making sure that you have the right food for your diet, no falling off, no cheat days, no skipping exercises. Even if you're sick, the exercise is all scalable. So you could do just a simple walk. You could do some yoga, some very low impact, just stretching. That can be considered an exercise day, especially if you're not someone that exercises every day anyways. Stretching is absolutely considered exercise. It's just designed to get you to be more disciplined in your everyday life. Hello, my sweet darling.
Am I almost done?
Am I almost done? Should I be done? Yeah, I have a few more. I think I just missed a few conversations up here. So can I check my few conversations and then be done, my sweet girl?
I can turn down to make me milk.
You want some milk? Milk.
And now the lemonade tastes bad.
The lemonade tastes bad. Yes, I will come make you some milk in just 1 minute, my sweet. Why don't you ask Josie? Doesn't she know how? Or does she not make it as good as I make it? I bet that's it.
I just wait for you.
You just want to wait for me. Okay, baby. But yeah, so that's what 75 hard is. So we're going to do that very soon. It's going to be very intimidating. I kind of want to just do it right the first time so I don't have to go any longer than 75 days because I don't want to do it again. Supplementation is necessary to some degree, in my opinion, because the ground is ultra depleted of our foods are grown in the animals that we ingest and consume. All children should be tested at birth for celiac disease, genes, and blood mutations, I believe, are advocate. Why wait till you're sick to find out your children are nutrient depleted to find out? Honestly, I don't think anyone should be eating wheat, period. So, like, I was never tested for celiac disease because I refused to keep eating the crap to get tested. Because they told me they wanted me to keep eating wheat for another 3 months before I got tested. I was having severe heart palpitations to the point where it was making every other heartbeat skip. I actually had a heart ablation because of that. I was having extreme night sweats and hot flashes. I would literally soak the bed. I would get up and there would be like an inch of water. It was so bad. I had extreme headaches, fainting, nausea. I mean, you name it. Like there were so many things that I had, and they wanted me to continue eating wheat for another 3 months, which I had already taken myself off of gluten and said that I felt so much better. And then I said, hey, can I get tested for celiac? And they said, well, you got to go back on for 3 months. And I said, yeah, that's not going to happen. So, and the doctor was actually very upset with me. She was like, well, then I can't test you for celiac disease. And I said, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to do it. So comfortable. You laying on my dress. Child sleeps with my dress. Gluten is not good for anything. It is just more obvious in some people. Yep. No, it's just not worth. It's not worth eating, in my opinion. I do not let my kids eat gluten very often, if ever, because I'm not in control of them all the time. If they go out and they get into gluten and they get something, there's nothing I can do about it. So no one should eat grains, especially our modern grains. They are all anti-nutrient. Oh, the modern grains. I really wonder if the grains from hundreds, thousands of years ago had more protein in them. Because as people, we need a lot of protein. So I wonder if those grains had more protein in them. And because we've crossbred them and GMO'd them and all of the other stuff that we've done to them, I wonder if we bred out a lot of that protein and bred in more starch and more sugar. It would make sense because, it's like we need so much protein. So if we were ever supposed to eat plants, you would think that the plants would have had more protein. But, yeah. So Amanda, yeah, you could do it. He said he's got people in wheelchairs, literally one guy in a wheelchair with one arm. And he did it because it's scalable. It's attainable to your level, but that's only if you really want to do it. I talked myself out of it several times and then I was like, nope, I'm going to do it. I don't want to, but I do want to because I want to prove to myself that I am a bad butt. Stretching. No working out for me. Dude, finger exercises. Then you're good. Finger exercises. Wow, I don't think I could do that. I know myself too well. Yeah. And he says that. He's like, there's a lot of people that try and they fail like 6, 7 times. He's like, some of them finally do get it. He's like, but some of them don't. I have chronic vertigo and there are days that I cannot roll over in bed. Yeah. And that would be, for you, it would be stretching. It would be laying in bed, moving your legs, holding them up, doing different things like that. I mean, the exercise part of it is that. The outside part of it, again, that would have to be scalable. I mean, if you can't get out of bed, then they can't expect you to go outside and do it. So, yeah, some of it is not it. It totally depends on the selfie every day for progress. You could run it concurrently with 75 strong for those needing to do a challenge. I don't even think I'm going to be able to handle 75 hard, let alone 75 strong. Palpitations with carbs. I thought I was alone in that. No. Oh my gosh. I actually got a heart ablation because nobody could figure out what it was. Come to find out, it was one of the supplements that I was taking had gluten in it and I didn't realize it. And, oh, My poor baby. That is what ended up causing my heart palpitations was the supplement that I was taking that had the gluten in it, and no one could figure it out. So I went in and I had a heart ablation. My kisses. So yeah, and then we figured it out because then afterwards I was still having these palpitations, and it was like, this is ridiculous. We can't keep burning the inside of my heart to get it to stop twitching. And then I had a friend over and she was like, oh, do you have any of this? Whatever. I said, yeah, it's in the cupboard. And she went and looked. She goes, you're not taking these, are you? Yeah. I think it was my multivitamin or something. She goes, they have wheat in them. And I was like, they what? Problem solved. No more heart palpitations. No more surgeries. That was fun. Let me see. Dr. Barry spoke yesterday about ancient grains, and he said that they were not better, as the Egyptians were also very unhealthy, right? No, I remember seeing somewhere that grains were their slave food. It's not for health. It's to keep you from dying. That is what grains are for. So anyone who eats grains is just trying to not die. But it just makes you so sick. It doesn't keep you healthy. Makes it to where you don't want to fight back very often against your, people who are controlling you, like the ancient Egyptians. Nope, I literally cannot move when the vertigo is bad. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend doing that for you then. Don't do it. It's okay. You don't have to do it. We'll see. We'll see if I do it. I may start it and see and then quit. We'll see. Like potatoes, if you can live off potatoes, if that's all you have. Exactly. You can live off potatoes, but can you thrive off of potatoes? No, you can't. You can't thrive off of potatoes. I think the point that we're going for is the best health possible for as long as possible with what we are given, because some of us cannot get everything that we need, all the testing, all the supplements, all the everything, but we can do our best. And I am okay with that. Hey, Bella, there's no more questions. So should we say goodbye to everybody? She's grinning. Should we say goodbye to everybody? And I'll come.
Bye.
Come say Happy Easter to everybody.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody. So thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. And we will do this again next Sunday, 3:00 Central. And I'll keep you guys updated on the Mighty Network as soon as it is. Yeah, please pray for Bella. As soon as it's up and available to everybody in the free area, then I will get it out for everyone to come and join us. So hopefully I will see you over there as well as seeing you here again next Sunday. So I love you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye. You ready?